This company was once valued at $47 billion. Investors called it the future of work. Then, in about 6 weeks, it lost most of that value and nearly ceased to exist. This is the story of WeWork, a company that rented office buildings, rented the desks back out, and somehow convinced the smartest money in the world that it was a world-changing technology company. It's a story about hype, a magnetic founder, and what happens when a beautiful story finally meets a cold spreadsheet. At the center of it all was a founder named Adam Neumann. Tall, charismatic, with long hair and endless energy, he could walk into any room and make people believe. And what he was selling wasn't just office space. He said WeWork would change the way the entire world worked and lived and even thought. He talked about community, about elevating the world's consciousness. Stick around, because the gap between that dream and the boring reality underneath it is enormous. So what did WeWork actually do? On paper, it was simple. WeWork signed long, expensive leases on office buildings, sometimes for 15 or 20 years. Then it renovated those spaces to look beautiful, put in stylish furniture, free coffee, even beer on tap, and rented out the desks to freelancers, startups, and small companies on short, flexible terms. Long lease in, short rentals out. That was the whole business, and to be fair, the spaces were genuinely nice. They felt cool, modern, and social. Young workers loved them. But here is the crucial thing to understand. This was, at its core, a real estate business. A landlord, a middleman between building owners and tenants. It was not inventing new technology. It was renting rooms. And renting rooms, historically, is not a wildly profitable or magical business. But Adam Neumann understood something powerful about his era. In the tech boom, a technology company was valued far, far higher than a boring real estate company. So he insisted over and over that WeWork was a tech company. He wrapped the business in the language of Silicon Valley. He talked about the WeWork platform, about network effects, about disruption. And astonishingly, investors bought it. The money poured in. WeWork raised billions of dollars. Its biggest backer was one of the largest investment funds in the world, which alone poured in an enormous fortune. With that cash, WeWork expanded at a breathtaking pace, opening locations in city after city, country after country. It felt unstoppable. And with every new round of funding, the valuation climbed higher until it reached that dizzying $47 billion. But there was a problem hiding underneath all that growth. The faster WeWork grew, the more money it lost. This is the part people missed in the excitement. It wasn't that the company was slightly unprofitable. It was hemorrhaging cash. For every dollar it made, it was spending roughly $2. The growth everyone celebrated wasn't a sign of health. It was the sound of money being set on fire, faster and faster. And the business model carried a hidden, dangerous trap. Remember, WeWork signed those long-term leases, promising to pay landlords for 15 or 20 years. But its customers, the freelancers and startups, could leave on very short notice. So WeWork was locked into paying enormous long-term bills, while its income could walk out the door at any moment. In good times, that's fine. In a downturn, it's a catastrophe waiting to happen. For years, none of that seemed to matter, because Adam Neumann was such a spectacular salesman. His grand vision papered over the numbers. But the vision also got stranger and stranger. He spoke about WeWork one day educating children, building housing, even having an impact that would last for centuries. The company's stated mission became, quote, to elevate the world's consciousness. For a company that mostly sold desks and free coffee, it was a remarkable thing to say. And behind the scenes, the spending and the behavior got wilder. There were reports of a private jet, of extravagant parties, of a freewheeling culture that revolved entirely around the founder. Even more troubling to careful observers, Neumann personally owned some of the buildings that WeWork then rented from him, meaning he was, in effect, paying himself with the company's money. He also trademarked the word "we" and reportedly sold the rights to his own company for millions. For a long time, all of this stayed hidden from the public because WeWork was a private company. It didn't have to open its books. But in 2019, WeWork decided to do the one thing that would expose everything. It decided to go public, to sell shares on the stock market. And to do that, by law, it had to publish a detailed document revealing its real finances to the whole world. That document changed everything. When investors, journalists, and analysts finally read the numbers, they were stunned. The staggering losses were laid bare. The strange deals with the founder were exposed. The bizarre, grandiose language was there in black and white. And suddenly, the spell broke. The outside world looked at this supposed world-changing tech giant and saw a money-losing real estate company with serious governance problems wearing a very expensive costume. What happened next was breathtakingly fast. The planned stock market debut, which was supposed to value the company at tens of billions, fell apart in weeks. As scrutiny intensified, the estimated value collapsed. 47 billion, then far less. Then less again. Investors who had been desperate to get in were now desperate to get out. The magical story, once questioned out loud, simply could not survive the daylight. The company was suddenly in crisis. It was burning through cash with no new money coming in, and the public offering that was supposed to save it had collapsed. WeWork came dangerously close to running out of money entirely. To survive it all, its biggest investor had to step in with a massive rescue package, taking control of the company to stop it from going under completely. And the founder? Adam Neumann was pushed out of the company he built. Now, here is the part that stuns people. As part of his exit, he reportedly walked away with a payout worth around $1 billion. The man whose vision had helped inflate and then implode the company left richer than almost anyone, while ordinary employees lost their jobs, and in many cases, the value of their stock options evaporated. Thousands of workers were laid off in the fallout. WeWork did not disappear entirely. A stripped-down version limped on for years, drastically shrinking, closing locations, and trying to finally become a real, disciplined business. But the dream of the $47 billion tech titan was dead. And years later, the company would end up in bankruptcy anyway, a quiet, sad ending to what had once been one of the most hyped startups on the planet. So what is the real lesson of WeWork? The first is deceptively simple. Renting desks is not magic, no matter how you describe it. A business is what it does, not what it calls itself. Calling a landlord a tech platform doesn't change the underlying math. Eventually, the spreadsheet always wins. And the spreadsheet said this company lost enormous amounts of money on every single thing it did. But the deeper lesson is about us. Why did so many brilliant, experienced investors hand over billions? Because they fell in love with a story and a storyteller. Adam Neumann sold a feeling, a vision of the future so exciting that checking the numbers felt small-minded. When enough powerful people are nodding along, the pressure to nod with them is enormous. Everyone assumed someone smarter had already done the math. For years, almost nobody had. WeWork is what happens when hype completely outruns reality, and when a great story is allowed to drown out simple, boring questions. Adam Neumann didn't fool the world with fake technology. He fooled it with belief, with charisma, and with the eternal human fear of missing out on the next big thing. So the question the story leaves us with is this. The next time everyone is certain something is the future, will you be brave enough to ask the boring question? Does this actually make money? If you enjoyed watching this empire deflate, subscribe, because next time we've got another giant that absolutely never saw it coming.